Get right to it. My first guest, very busy, very talented actor. You know him from such films as Escape from New York, Tombstone, Miracle. His latest movie is called Dreamer. It opens everywhere this Friday. Please welcome the lovely Kurt Russell, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, you're having a great year. Miracle, you got this one. These feel-good movies work for you, don't they?
You know, it was a long time, actually about 10 years there, where I didn't do anything that was that could be seen by a general audience. And
what was it, Dark Blue? Was that the one?
Dark Blue. It was, yeah, but I enjoyed a lot of the movies that I did. But these movies have, you know, they have the opportunity of being seen by more people, and that's kind of fun too.
Yeah, well, this Dreamer, we'll tell people what it's about. This is a wonderful story, and this is a great family film. If you complain that you don't have a film you can take kids to, and adults, it's an
adult family film.
Right, exactly.
It is in the tradition of old classic films, Old Yeller or something like that.
Tell people what it's about.
Well, a broken-down trainer who's just run on bad times cannot win, and he has this horse in a race, breaks down, and because his daughter is there, he doesn't put the horse down. He decides in an argument with the guy to take the horse, try to bring it back.
Right.
It's based on a true story about a horse that actually came back to run again and win. And this horse, it's really about the recoup of this horse and how it, does.
That's what makes it work. You know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah,
but you still.
What happens in this?
It still keeps you. You know.
The setup is what the setup is. Exactly. Really, what happens in this is the drama of the family that comes together, and it's really a chance, too, I think, for an opportunity for an audience to see Dakota Fanning in a role that is up to her ability.
Now, have you worked in, you've worked with horses, but you've done a lot of things with horses.
Well, you know, back in the day, back in the early 60s, you know, you had to learn how to do everything with a horse. You had to be able to hitch them up, the teams and the Conestoga wagons and stuff like that.
Did you have any scary experiences? I mean, when you were a little kid with horses?
In those days, you didn't really have stuntmen for you when you were a kid. They liked to hire kids who could do stuff, you know. So I learned about horses early on. And, yeah, I was driving a 6-up one time. It was a Conestoga wagon. We were racing 20 of these wagons. Coming down a turn, and when I got to the turn, the ruts had built up pretty good, and so when we hit this rut, the wagon was going over. And Dan O'Hurley, he was sitting on my right, and I was, you know, driving the wagon. I was 12, I think. And I said, you know, jump, it's going. And so we hit, and the wagon split apart, and we fell over, you know.
Wow.
That was kind of scary.
See, today you could have a lawsuit. You'd have a studio.
They don't
back
do that
then,
anymore.
Get up, you lazy kid, get back.
It was actually a lot of fun in those days, though, because you got to do things that sometimes you don't get to do now.
Now, anything like that happen on Dreamer, horse-wise?
I'd never been kicked by a horse in the front, you know, with a horse going up, so we were rearing this horse.
Oh, not kicked in the front.
I've been kicked.
Oh, yeah, I got that. Because you wouldn't be sitting here. Hey, I've never been kicked in the front by a horse.
You know, I've been kicked, you know, with a back kick.
Oh, back kick.
But this horse, we're trying to get this horse to rear, and we got the horse to finally go up, and I didn't realize how close I was to the horse, and he you know, his front kicked me and just spliced me, and so I was really shocked. I was just lucky I wasn't, you know, really laid out, but I was okay. But it was a surprise.
Now, you said in an interview that race horses are arrogant.
They're like arrogant athletes. They truly are. I mean, that's even the trainers refer to them as that. They're very different. I mean, having had horses all my life, ranch horses and stuff. Totally different animal. They know what they're there for. They know they're a superior beast. They're there to run. Well, they're bred for their courage. Racehorses aren't necessarily bred just for speed. They're bred for their heart, for their courage. That's what makes them winners.
I mean, if you take a racehorse and put him with a bunch of regular horses, he like, oh, these are so not my people.
You get that.
Is it like a supermodel at the, you know, whatever?
Well, I went to Three Chimneys, where, you know, Smarty Jones and you know, War Emblem and Silver Charm, all these great racehorses are. And one after the other, they come out and they just take position, and they know who they are.
They got that swagger.
Yeah, they got that swagger. They got that stink on them, and they don't you know, they don't want to. If they don't want to do something, like when we were shooting, a lot of the times when the horse just didn't want to do something, that was it. It wasn't gonna happen.
Like supermodels with bigger brains.
Yeah.
That kind of. Now, is it fun work with Dakota Fanning? You know, she is, you know, isn't she like a little adult? I mean,
well, she's this great person. I guess you can have her on tomorrow night, right?
Well, she's been on before, and I was talking to her one day when she was 7, and I was having an adult conversation, not adult subject, but I mean, just we're having this, and I realized, but this kid is only 7. Well, you know, Jay, I think what primarily is happening in Iraq.
But she's not precocious. You know, she's not a precocious person.
No, not at all. No, but she's just a normal.
She's a good person, and she's a great. Steve and Joy Fanning are wonderful people. and Elle is a wonderful sister. They're just a great family, and Dakota is very smart, no doubt about it.
And you were a child star, of course. Did you bond with her on that? Did you share any
It's funny,
experience?
you know, I never had spoken to any kids before about any of my past. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
But Dakota's different. I mean, I could see, you know, she's going to go through some of these things, and we started talking about it. She already has the perceptions that are true. She's very clear in the way she looks at the world. So we've had some discussions about some of the things that she's already faced, the things that I faced too when I was young, and it was like sometimes in the old days they wanted you to behave sometimes in a way that was just insane. It was no kid acted like that. And it was very hard to, you just had to play stupid, like you didn't understand what you wanted them to do. She's had to do that a couple of times, I think, but she's been very fortunate that she's worked with very good directors, and I think that now it's too late for that.
Do you give her advice on dealing with the press and things like that?
She doesn't need advice. She has verification of things she already knows, and her parents know. But they're just cool people. She's a great person.
See, when you were a kid, I used to be very jealous of you because we're about the same age. And I went to see you.
You were jealous of me?
I was jealous
not true.
Because you worked with Elvis, and when I was a kid, you got to kick Elvis in the shins, and it happened at the World's Fair.
And you wanted to do that.
Well, no, I just wanted
to do that so
I was
bad.
an Elvis fan when I was a kid. I used to think Elvis was so cool. I go, here's a guy my age in a movie with Elvis. Oh, if I ever see that guy, I'm going to get a horse to kick him in the face. That's what I said. I was so jealous. I was so jealous. But that seemed very cool to me. That was very cool to me.
You know, when you're a kid and you get into this business, I think there are obviously a lot of things that you have to be aware of and be careful with. But I think that primarily depends on who your parents are. And this Dakota is in good hands there.
Good. Look, we'll take a break. More with Kurt right after this break. Dreamer is the movie. I gotta tell you something. I like to go to garage sales. And I always buy like boxes of old hot rod magazines, car magazines from the 50s and 60s, because I like reading them. So I'm going through a pile, and I find this magazine, a magazine called Fave. And in this magazine, it has Kurt's impish side. Now, I underlined a bunch of stuff. Can you see Kurt's impish side? As
1950s.
By Mrs. Russell, your mom. What is this? This is like, you're in here with the Monkees, and who else is in here?
This is like late 60s?
Yeah, the late 60s.
Oh,
these are the things Kurt's mother knows best. He is daring. He's always hungry. He makes me laugh. Says, has Kurt ever pulled any pranks or done something really mischievous? He cut his younger sister's eyelashes off. Do you remember doing that? Do you remember doing that?
I actually do.
Do you remember? Can you?
Yeah, no, I remember that. I don't remember why, but that's just right. You know, journalism.
Why?
It's true,
Like there's a reason. Why? Why would there be a reason? Oh, why? Flies?
Let's see what this will look like.
Reason?
Yeah, I have no. It was a long time ago.
Okay, another one here is. Was there ever any time that Kurt was in danger? I can see girls squealing reading this. Yes, his dad got out of the car and Kurt left the brake off, and he and his sister headed down the dock towards the lake. Do you remember that, the car going down towards the lake?
I wanted to drive the car into the lake, but I was like 3.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't like I was going to cut her eyelashes off when I was, you know, 3.
It says, what kind of food does Kurt like best? You know your favorite food then? What?
No, I don't.
I mean, it was.
Venison? Venison.
Venison, deer meat, that's what it says.
Hasn't changed much, see?
And Reuben sandwiches and Mexican food. There's a good combination. Did you ever throw a tantrum?
I'm sure I did.
No, it says right here, your mom says tantrums are not allowed in the house. Right, get a shot of some of these pictures. Here you go. Get a shot of Kurt's impish side. There's one there. Oh, there you go. There. Oh.
These are amazing.
Oh, there you go. A little too much deer meat in that picture. Yeah, there you go. Well, then with the band, you gotta have. Were you in a group? Did you have a group?
No, but I had drums for Christmas one year. I remember that.
Oh.
When I first started.
Would you like? I'll give you this copy.
I love that.
Yeah,
I'll give it to my mom.
Give it to your mom.
That's very nice of you, Jay.
How's Goldie doing? Everybody good?
Everybody's great. Matter of fact, she's written a movie that I think she's going to direct next year, and I think I'm going to be in it. And so I'm looking forward to doing that.
Did you have to sleep with her to get that part?
Yeah. But it wasn't a bad job.
Because you don't, just...
Everybody's doing good. Katie's working. She's doing a movie, and she just got back from Hawaii. Oliver did a couple of movies this year. Boston's working for Goldie's foundation, and I'm working on Poseidon right now.
Okay.
With, Josh
so
Lucas.
but the kids are all out of the house. I mean, I know how
Gone.
Goldie is. Is she okay with it? Because now you're like empty nesters.
Wyatt was our last one. Wyatt, you know, we were up in Vancouver because Wyatt was playing hockey up there. He's now playing for the Chicago Steel in the USHL. Wow. And so we aren't going to be in Vancouver as much as we have been over the last 3 years. Our life's going to change quite a bit.
Now what? So it's just the two of you in this big house? Are you running around playing the pirate and the slave girl? You doing
Pirate and the slave girl. I like that. I can see Goldie as a slave girl.
You know, I can see Goldie as a slave girl,
like
actually.
Yeah. You know what?
A little bit of that. Now you can do it.
The slave girl.
Pirate and the slave girl. Yeah. I mean, you can do it in each room of the house now. You don't have to worry about the kids coming in. I think we struck a little close to home on that one.
I actually had some of these thoughts.
Yeah.
Which is, no, you know, when there's no kids around, there's nobody around, you actually can, you know, live the way you thought you were going to live 30 years ago.
Right. Hence the pirate and the slave girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see a clip from for Dreamer. I really recommend this film. It's a really nice, just a good, warm, warm film. Let's take a look. Now, what's happening here? This is when
actually, the horse is going to be turned over to her, I believe. In this
okay,
scene.
let's take a look. Dreamer. I understand you, did you give Dakota a horse?
Yeah, well, I got to talking to her, you know, about some things, and I realized that they don't have a lot with pets, and so I talked to her mom and dad. I said,
yeah, the parents
I think
going,
she's...
thanks, Kurt, for the horse.
So I realized that she wanted what she really wanted was a horse, and she wanted a Palomino, and she already had the name Goldie picked out if she ever got a horse. So I spent some time with her mom and dad and said, you know, I think she's ready for this commitment if you guys do, and I'd like to get her this horse.
Oh, cool.
But it's a commitment for the whole family because, you know, you've got to, you know, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
so she's had the horse now for about almost a year. And
oh, that's wonderful.
A great thing.
Well, she'll be here tomorrow, and I'll ask her about it. Kurt, always a pleasure. Congratulations on the movie. Dreamer! Be right back with Rev Run